How do we articulate what we really believe? Do you ever find yourself struggling with, first of all, what do I think on the matter, whatever the issue is? How do I access those rooms in my mind and find what I really think about it? And then how do I get it to the point that it comes out of my mouth? How do we articulate our opinions in a way that is substantial and just rocks the room, that makes people turn their head and want to look? I'm going to attempt to do that, but I'm going to attempt to explain what I think on this, and you're going to see me stumble and bumble through some things. But I want to show you that everybody has that. Everybody has those things that they struggle with in explaining what they believe. We're all in this same boat, and some people have it better than others, and some people are just blessed and gifted in a way that it comes more natural to them. My name is Brandon Fogal. This is Evolution. This is going to be a little bit different than my normal shows, so I hope you buckle up. We got a lot to cover today, but it starts with this. First of all, how do we find what we really believe? Because a lot of life is just us listening to others, us listening to people who we think are the authorities on the matter, as opposed to, what do I really think? We go to people that we think have more experience, that they've spent the time more to think about it so that we don't have to think. And a lot of times it becomes a really surface level on the things that when given the opportunity to say it, it doesn't come out the way that we really want it to come out. And I find myself struggling with this all the time. Do you ever have that where you're like, I have it every day because I'm doing this every day. I'm like, why did I say it that way? Why did my mouth not say the right word? Why am I constantly reaching for words as opposed to, because all of us, in our brains are amazing things. They're like a library that we only access probably about 10% of our brain. That's what I always hear, 10% of our brain. How do we access more of it? How do we open those rooms that seem locked up at times? And how come some people the rooms in their house are like lit up more than others? Because I find myself, I think people, it's bandwidth, what bandwidth you have in your brain that you are able to reach and find, and what you really think on a matter. But it's also being able to pull those words from your head and to be able to put them in language, because language it unlocks everything. If we can speak it, it opens our mind to greater realities out there. Things that we think are just basically the very surface of our world. There's so much more going on that if we aren't able to speak about it, and this goes into, a lot of us receive a lot more input than output. And I would say, to access those rooms in your mind, you have to do it over and over. You have to create more output in your own world, in your own space. Whether that's just talking out loud to yourself and going about your day. People, you get a lot of bad rap, people saying, oh, he's just talking to himself. He's always talking to himself. What a loser. He's just talking to himself. Maybe when not everybody's watching, but maybe just instead of watching the news, or instead of watching whatever it is, a movie, and just absorbing it all in, or even a podcast, because I find myself all the time, I'm listening to stuff and I think I'm getting smarter, or I'm reading stuff and I think I'm getting smarter, as opposed to really figuring out how much I really know on whatever it is I think I know, and start talking about it. And I think whenever you start talking it out and you start living it out, you're going to find things that you didn't know. It's really, is it tough for you when to hear somebody speak whenever they can't just get to the point, or when they can't make sense, their argument or what they're saying doesn't have structure? I struggle with that all the time. And I look at people, and we're going to take a look at one person in particular. I put a couple links in the description you can look at, of something that really helped me in this. But also, I'm always talking about Alex O'Connor. He's a person that can really just articulate what he believes and his opinions and all that, and that's what it can resonate with people, because he's able to communicate it so effectively. But why can he do that and somebody else doesn't naturally doesn't have that. I think it's just this body that we have, and these cobwebs in our head. They're just blocking up the rooms, and it's like it's not as clear. There are things out there that you can take that can open your mind. I wish there was a limitless pill, like of Bradley Cooper, the movie, where he takes that and it's just he can think and see clearly. I wish there was that, but there are things like that. There are similar medicine or just natural supplements you can take that can give that effect to your mind, because we all have it in us. We all have that back in our mind. We can find it if we start speaking it out, if we start talking it out and making it known what our opinions are. We're going to take a look at, I'm going to take this short clip from Alex O'Connor and him in the middle of a podcast that he had with Sam Harris, and him just saying, I don't even know where these words are coming. I don't know how, I'm not even thinking about them. They're just naturally flowing out.
Yeah. There's just this, I open my eyes and there's just this image, and I open my ears and there are just these words. And there's a sense in which when I'm speaking right now, I'm not calculating every word that's coming out of my mouth. I'm not, thinking about every sentence. These words, where the hell are they coming from? They are just going. I didn't know I was about to say the word going. It just came out, right? And
you have no idea how you said it. And when you fail to say it, if you forget it for a moment and you struggle to find a word, or you say the wrong word, that too is mysterious. Your success is mysterious, and your failure is mysterious.
But it makes it so fascinating.
Okay. So that is remarkable to me, because I'm always listening to people, as I know everybody is, that who you admire, who you think, who you aspire to be. You want to glean something from them. But how do we in our real life get down below the surface and find out what it is we truly believe? We need to think about issues, and we need to talk it out. Because the more we talk it out and just speak what we think, it might not resonate with everybody, and your opinion might not immediately resonate with everyone, because you might be able to not communicate it as effectively. As you see, I struggle with that all the time. But as anyone that is a practicing speaker, and we all are, no matter wherever you are practicing becoming a better communicator. Because it doesn't matter how much knowledge or wisdom you have in your head. You're not going to be able to pass that wisdom on to others if you're not able to describe it and make it known what you really believe on whatever it is. And I mean, this goes with public speaking. People have that issue, and I have that struggle with that. I would get nervous, because immediately when everything's on you and eyes are on you and people are looking at you, you can start feeling a little squeamish, and you can't think as straight, and you can't voice what you really mean on the matter, and you just struggle through it. I struggle through it. But I think we have to put ourselves in uncomfortable positions so that, and I mean daily put ourselves in uncomfortable positions, and over just make it as uncomfortable as possible, so that it's not as uncomfortable as possible for the recipient, for everybody else. People that do this all the time, that are just out there and speaking, I just know that a lot of times and I don't want this to be just projection, because this might not be what you're thinking at all, and how you see the world at all, or how you see language and being able to communicate your opinions at all. You might not feel the same way. But I want to unlock the mysteries of our mind, because our mind is so deep and rich. There's so much there. And it doesn't matter how strong and just a wellspring of wisdom and life that we have in there. If we're not able to describe it, we're going to be unsatisfied. We're going to be, I'm struggling for words. What's my vocabulary? And I don't think it really, we have to say the perfect right thing at every moment. I think we just need to continue to talk about it. We need to continue to describe to others the world that we're in, because we're all in our own world. We need to, because people that are great at things are able to make things simple, taking the complex and making it simple and understandable. And I want to get that way. And I'm so stubborn, I'm going to somehow figure out a way to get that way. I don't know if you've ever found that in your life, that you ever feel so stubborn that you refuse to lose. And even though it might look like you're not winning, you refuse to lose and you refuse to quit, whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is in your life that you're battling through. It's different for everyone. We all come to this world and we have our biases, our opinions, but I think a lot of us, we don't really have our opinions. We haven't hashed it out and formulated what it is. It's easy to be almost lazy in a sense and just think that we know a lot more than we really do and think that we have a stronger opinion on something than we might really do at this time. And I think the more that you're able to think on these things and communicate them, the more that you might see others going through something and you're able to extend grace and you're able to perceive what they are trying to get across. You know, I might look to you like a little child at times because I'm like trying to get a point across, and maybe there's method to the madness. Maybe there is a sense that I need to grow up. We need to grow up. And instead of just receiving, start giving, start producing something that others can benefit from. And I think we have to find out what we believe on certain matters and not just be surface level. That's what I've found. If you are in the same boat, if you are in the same thought process that I'm at all, I would love to hear your opinion. Put it in the comments, what you think. If you are a person that ever just struggles with getting your point across, it just didn't come out the way I wanted. It didn't come out the way I wanted. I get you. I totally get you. But I think it is over and over doing it. Continuing to just press on. Battle through. Do it when no one's looking. So that when you have the attention of others, because like Gary Vee always says, attention is the most valuable asset. If you got someone's attention, don't waste it. And I try not to waste anyone's attention. I try not to waste anyone's time. And I know I'm not a microwave and I don't have like instant access, words of wisdom, but I think it's the repeated trial and error over and over that will make me better at what I do. And I think the same thing can go for everyone out there. Just doing it over and over and putting yourself in that uncomfortable position so that when your time to shine happens, and it might come unexpected, a lot of times it does. It just happens in your face. You're not ready for it. I think we got to just struggle through the wilderness at times so that when we step into the light, we're going to be able to give those words of wisdom at the right time to someone that needs it. But this might be a perfect example of not being able to articulate what I want to articulate. And I think it's just because a lot of times it's not just repeatedly over, just thinking on it. Because no matter how much I think I know something, until I start talking it out, I start for everyone to see maybe how much I don't know. A wise person can look like a person can look wise if they keep their mouth shut. But I don't think you're going to. You might feel wise by keeping your mouth shut, but you're not going to be a person that's going to change the world by keeping your mouth shut. You're going to be a person that just floats through life, and maybe it doesn't get what you really want out of it. And we only have this one life to live, so I want to get as much out of it as possible. And I bet you do as well. All right. Well, we'll leave it at that. Let me know what you think. I'm going to keep going. I'm too stubborn to stop. And I hope you keep going as well. And I hope you keep evolving to that best version of you.